This morning I was listening to Mystic Perry Stone, and he's always got some inside information. And he had some real good information this morning. The Lord woke him up early in the morning, 1:45, something like that. He said he looked at his watch, and the Lord woke him up and told him audibly. It was an audible voice. It wasn't something. It wasn't his imagination. It was audible. And he was telling him, he told me 2028 through 2032. And, I thought, well, what does that mean? But anyway, the Lord went on to tell him that America's going to go through a similar thing that Israel went through during 66 to 70. It was took about 4 years to destroy Jerusalem and the temple. And we got about that long. We got about 4 more years, and then it's done. We're done for. But when I posted I made a video and posted on Facebook, and I'm gonna put it on my YouTube channel too. But when God says something, we got to hear it. And I was just wondering why Perry Stone's people aren't demanding that Perry Stone's words that come direct from God not be inserted in the Bible with because when he says something, it's not going to return empty. It's going to come to pass. Now, he told Perry Stone, we got till 2032 and we're going to go through the same thing Israel did, Jerusalem specifically. And so, so I was wondering, and then that video led to this one. And this woman, she's got the perfect alibi, the perfect cover up, whatever you want to call it. If her prophecies don't come to pass, she's got the perfect answer. And, you can't hold them accountable this way. I mean, these people have no shame. They really don't. They don't have no fear of God. They don't have no shame. I don't know why there can't be that much money involved in it. Apparently there is. I don't know. But if you'll notice the title of this video, are most prophets wrong? And I was thinking, well, the title speaks for itself. None of God's prophets were wrong, not one of them. They were all 100%. If they belonged to God, they were 100% correct because what they spoke came from directly from God. They were never wrong. But as we know, these modern prophets they're never right. They're during the 2020 election, they were 100% wrong. All of them, every one of them. I couldn't find one that predicted Trump to lose the presidential election, but they all said, "Oh, he's got it," And Kenneth Copeland just laughed. The paper said that Joe Biden won, and then he went to laughing, ha 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 ha, and his mouth got as big as a basketball before he got through. And those people have no shame. They're just no fear, no shame, and just wear the most fancy clothes and jewelry and all that, which that looks like a flea market necklace she has on. So I'm not sure about her, if she's in it for the money or what she do. What would you do this for? But I want you to pay attention. I have it over here it starts at 5:40. You gotta hear this. It's foolproof. If she makes a prophecy and we don't see it come true, well, I'll let you I'll let you hear it.
Hear prophecies, there's things out there. Annette, can you help us with this? How should believers, average viewers, how should they test a prophecy, especially in the social media world and all the stuff we got? We got like a new prophecy every 5 minutes, it seems. So what's some good wisdom there?
Well, if a person is truly born of the Spirit of God, then their spirit will bear witness with it. I've heard
Yes.
prophecies that when I heard it, I went, I have no idea what that means. Okay. But something on the inside says there's something about this, there's something right. So it's not always as simple as did the prophecy come to pass?
Right.
Because um, I've had prophecies for years that haven't come to pass yet. And to be honest with you, if we're going to judge on that of what the Lord has said to me, then I must be a false prophet because it hasn't happened yet. However, I have learned that when you're looking from the 30,000-foot view, and it's really not 30,000 feet, it's from heaven's viewpoint,
Wow.
time is not the same.
Yep.
And so it is seamless and it's not necessarily linear. And so some of the prophecies and some of the words the Lord gives us are not going to come to pass until the next age. And what do I mean by the next age? I mean, we are in the church age, the age of grace,
Yes.
and then the rapture, the tribulation, and then we move into the millennial, the 1,000-year reign of Christ. And so everybody thinks, for some reason, that we are going to just be raptured, go to heaven, and stay there forever. But we're coming back here.
That's right. Come on.
Okay. So if you view the prophetic word from the timeline that, yes, we're caught up to meet the Lord, but then we come back to rule and reign, we're going to be back down here. That's a period of 7 years we're talking about.
Man.
Joseph, can you think what happened 7 years ago? Of course you can. I mean, 7
Yeah.
years went by in a flash.
Yeah.
So when I look at it, there were some things that I was looking at, the Lord told me, and I leaned back against the barn and I asked the Lord, I said, okay, what about this? And he said, you are looking at this from the wrong perspective. You're looking at this as if you're going to be leaving this place permanently. And he said, you've got at least minimum 1,007 years.
Yes.
So we're not, we're looking at it, right till Jesus comes and then bang, everything, that's the end. That's not the end.
It's not the
That's
end.
not the end.
Come on.
We've got, I mean, if the rapture takes place today, we got 7 years and then 1,000. So when we look at it from heaven's view, it's what we're prophesying may be coming to pass in the millennial age, not this current one.
Power.
Yeah, powerful, powerful stuff. You hear that, folks? That's just mumbo jumbo. And if what I say doesn't come to pass, if what the Lord tells me doesn't come to pass till 1,000 years, 1,007 years, whatever, it's still coming to pass. But boy, she's got her act covered. You can't, you can't refute that. Let's look at a few verses of what God says. He does, the Bible isn't that convoluted. He tells us if a prophet says something and it doesn't come to pass, it didn't come from me. And we're going to always have these false prophets, and we're going to test the spirits. John tells us, test them. Folks, if you're not willing to test them, if you're not willing to admit the person I'm following is a liar and just a ridiculous buffoon, then there's no helping. If you're not going to listen to the scriptures, then go ahead and listen to this buffoon and the skinhead beside her, whatever his name is. I mean, good grief. Look at Deuteronomy 18, 21, 22. And if you say in your heart, how shall we know the word which the Lord has not spoken? When a prophet speaks in the name of the Lord, if the thing does not happen or come to pass, that is the thing which the Lord has not spoken. The prophet has spoken it presumptuously. You shall not be afraid of him. This simple, folks. God doesn't say, well, if what he says doesn't come to pass, he may be talking about something I told him. It may be in the next age. It may be in the church age. It may be in the kingdom age. It may be in the millennial reign. That's what these people, that's what they want to push on you. No, God was plain. He was simple, plain. Just if a guy tells you something and it doesn't come to pass, it's not from me. Look at another, Deuteronomy 13, 1 through 3. If there arises among you a prophet or a dreamer of dreams, and he gives you a sign or a wonder, and the sign or the wonder comes to pass of which he spoke to you, saying, let us go after other gods which you have not known, and let us serve them, you shall not listen to the words of that prophet or that dreamer of dreams, for the Lord your God is testing you to know whether you love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul. If we're not willing to take the scriptures that we know came from God and test these prophets like this woman, if we're not willing to do that, then we don't belong to God. That's what that God is testing people. And these people have a big following. You shall walk after the Lord your God and fear him, and keep his commandments and obey his voice. You shall serve him and hold fast to him. I mean, why are these people not? It's not these charlatans. It's not her. Her name's Annette Capps, and he's Joseph Z. I don't know, expose or exposed. I don't know how you pronounce his name, but these two, don't listen to them. They're ridiculous. Jeremiah 28:9. As for the prophet who prophesies of peace, when the word of the prophet comes to pass, the prophet will be known as one whom the Lord has truly sent. If what they say is true, it will come to pass. And that's the one that the Lord sent. And, sometimes they will hit and miss. This is a prophecy. This ain't a guessing game. If one of those that were, it was 100% of them were wrong about Trump winning in 2020, which was hilarious. I wanted Trump to win, but it was hilarious when he didn't, because I was saying then, I wish y'all would shut up, because God's going to not let Trump win just to show y'all that he's in charge and not you. And it was funny, really. But see, this is a prophet. If he says peace and there is peace, God sent him. But this is not talking about a hit and a miss. What if one of them had said, Trump's going to lose? I'm sorry, folks, but God told me he's going to lose. That doesn't mean God told him, because they are so wrong. It's not a hit and miss. They are either, if they're from God, they're 100% right. If they're not from God, they can roll the dice and play the odds like they're in Vegas or something. Look at Ezekiel 13:6. They have seen vanity and lying divination, saying, the Lord saith, and the Lord has not sent them. And they have made others to hope that they would confirm the word. Now, God's word comes back, it doesn't come back to him empty handed. Nothing falls on the ground. What divination is condemned. God says don't practice divination. That's not prophecy. That's like astrology or something, reading the stars and all that to tell the future. That's not from God. And when they say, well, I heard from God and God didn't say anything, and that's what these people are doing, folks. This is ridiculous. I wanted you to hear that little section. You can listen to the whole video if you want to. You can go to the Daystar website, where they're having a lot of trouble since the Lambs, both of them have passed away, and a lot of other people, a lot of their sponsors pulled out, but they still have a big bunch of preachers and false prophets and false teachers going to Daystar to get their names out there, like these two clowns. These are clowns. These are not from God. They have nothing to do with the God of the Bible. That's their living. What they're doing is they're living, They have to know it. They have to. And did you hear that explanation of hers of why some prophecies don't come true? Well, it doesn't mean they're not going to come true. It may be the next. We may have to wait 1,000 years to see if it comes true. That's ridiculous. It's as ridiculous as the hyper preterists who claimed the millennial reign was actually about 37 to 40 years and it was over with. And, it was between, let's see, what it was between the ascension of Christ and 80-70. I think it may be between his ministry and 80-70. It was somewhere along in there, 37 to 40 years. They claimed that was the millennial reign, and it's just as ridiculous as these two right here. Well, these prophecies that I've said that didn't come to pass, well, they're going to come to pass in another 1,000, at least 1,007 years. Just stupid. I don't know how else to put it. They're stupid, and if you follow these people like this, you're just as gullible as they are. I don't believe they're gullible. I don't believe these two are gullible. I believe they have dark, evil motives, is what I believe. And I believe that is for the money. Don't know that for sure. Looking at that necklace she's wearing, I think, well, she probably picked that up at a flea market. I see them things hanging in places where we buy clothes. Those, what do they call them? Goodwills and stuff like that. I've seen a bunch of those. And but anyway, I just wanted to do a quick video on this. I did one on Perry Stone this morning, then I had to cut the grass, and I am wore out. And, I can't hold up to do nothing anymore. But anyway, thank you for listening. I'll see y'all next time.